Let it go この決意アンブレイカボー愛する世界に不正なアクセス許さないぜターゲットロックオン今すぐ出動 It's moving time 飛び込め危機の最前線シャットダウン完了特命戦隊ゴーダスター
Time to review Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, GameCube, Xbox Live Arcade, and screw it, it's too confusing. Sonic Adventure was the first proper 3D installment in much of the Sonic Adventure. Originally released as a launch album for the Sonic Dreamcast in September of 1999, Sonic Adventure went on to garner much critical acclaim and is known as the best 3D Sonic game by many fans. And like a lot of you guys, I never actually played Sonic. At least since I found the Dreamcast Collection, a compilation of 4 digitally re-released Dreamcast games for the Xbox 360, and found out that SA1 was in it. So here's my review for the Xbox Live Arcade. Also, since this is the very first time I've played SA1, I won't be comparing this to again. So with that out of the way, let's begin. The story of Sonic Adventure is actually split into 6 stories, covering Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and newcomers Big the Cat and E102 Gamma. Sonic's story is to stop the evil Dr. Robotnik from collecting all the Chaos Emeralds to feed to a demonic entity named Chaos by simply collecting the Chaos Emeralds himself. Tails' story is essentially the same as Sonic's, but there are a few differences near the end that involve Tails becoming an independent hero. Knuckles has to collect the shards of the Master Emerald because I guess he got drunk and accidentally broke the damn thing Katamari style. Amy comes into contact with the Flicky while shopping one day and is being stalked by Zero, one of Robotnik's robots. Well, to be fair, if I was someone protecting that godforsaken game, I would probably try to kill them too. Big's story is that his best friend Froggy has ran away and he's trying to get him back. Call Ace Attorney, we have a contender for best game story. And Gamma is actually one of Robotnik's robots, but after certain events he decides to destroy his brothers. Sonic Adventure is generally a 3D platform where you go from point A to point B. The A button is the jump button, and B and X are the action buttons, the function of which changes depending on who you're playing as, although the buttons are generally used to attack. Sonic is the speedy platform gameplay we all know and love. Here, the A button activates the homing attack while in midair, and he spin dashes while holding X on the ground. And he can also obtain an upgrade that gives him the light dash ability where he follows the trail of rings automatically. Tails is similar to Sonic, but he has 2 major differences. Firstly, he flies when A is pressed instead of using the homing attack, and he has to get to the end of the levels before Sonic. Knuckles' gameplay takes on a non-linear fashion similar to Mario 64, where he can glide, climb on walls, and he has to find 3 shards of the Master Emerald by using a radar or getting directions from a glowing orb. Amy is a lot slower than the majority of the characters, and she's tasked with getting through the level to the balloon while being chased by Zero, who, by the way, looks as if it's wearing an apron. Gamma's gameplay is more of a third-person shooter platformer hybrid, where you're on a timer and destroying enemies will give you extra time. And Big's gameplay involves fishing for Froggy. Oh, good lord. There's also another game mode called the Chow Garden, but since I didn't play through this, I won't talk about it much other than that you take care of Chow and watch how it grows up. Okay, now I know a lot of people really love this game, but I have a few problems with it. First of all, a lot of the stories are pretty short in comparison to Sonic's story. I mean, Sonic's story was like 2 hours and the rest were about 45 to 60 minutes. I also didn't like how Tails had the exact same levels as Sonic, and everyone had half or even a third as many levels as Sonic. Sonic got 10, everyone else got like 4 or 5. Not to mention that the free-roaming hubs really served no purpose in the game other than extending the game's running time. I mean, okay, yes, it's trying to be immersive, but exactly how can you get immersed in a world with like 9 funny animals and a bajillion people made out of origami? And there's a fair amount of dick moves in the game that come up from bizarre glitches, strange camera bombs, and the utter hell that is Sonic's Lost World. Also, I'm probably going to get slammed for this, but am I the only one that thinks a large majority of the game is just filler? I mean, Sonic and Tails' stories are fine, but I'm not sure if Amy, Knuckles, or Big were really worth it. I mean, okay, I'll forgive E102 Gamma because the story was at least interesting, but the rest seemed kind of pointless. However, that's not my biggest problem with the game. That honor would go to Big the Cat's gameplay. Now, let me make something very clear. I have utterly no problem with the character of Big. He's fine with me for the most part. And I've got no problem with slow gameplay in the Sonic series or something different from ordinary gameplay. But Big seriously has a lot of problems. His voice is utterly annoying to listen to, he has virtually no impact on the plot, and his gameplay is unbelievably broken that it actually makes Sonic 06 seem as fine-tuned as Okami. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. I actually had more fun with Sonic 06 than the stupid fishing gameplay. Seriously, whose idea at SEGA was to have fishing in Sonic Adventure? Okay, ignoring that, there actually is a lot of the game I like. First off, the graphics are majorly improved over the original version of the game, as most of the environmental textures are improved along with the majority of the character models, except the origami humans, sadly. Also, I actually really like the music because there's actually quite a variety. I mean, Sonic Adventure's music is mostly just remembered for the hard, awesome rock tunes, but there are actually all sorts of different kinds of varieties, such as At Dawn and Speed Highway, Red Mountains musics, and of course, the remixes of tracks from Sonic 3D Blast. Knuckles' gameplay is mercifully far less annoying than it was in Sonic Adventure 2, although a little too easy for some, but if you want, you can just ignore the orbs. And I thought Tails' levels were pretty fun, but my favorite levels in the game are rather obviously Sonic's levels. Not because of the speed, but rather the split between fun speed and great platforming sections like the old games. And no, I'm not being stupid. Actually go back and play the old Mega Drive games, and you'll notice that a lot of them are just about platforming, and the speed is a reward for getting through those platforming sections. I also really liked Gamma's story, as it was rather interesting, and I liked how Tails grew up to be an independent hero near the end of his story. Also, I thought the voice acting was pretty good, if a little bit robotic and clunky at times. Sonic Adventure is a fun game with awesome Sonic levels, interesting stories, fun platforming, improved graphics, and good music. However, it's massively dragged down by a fair bit of dick moves, pointless hub worlds, pretty short stories compared to Sonic, a lot of filler, and horrific Big the Cat gameplay. In any case, I feel Sonic Adventure gets a rating of pretty good. What it says in the tin, really. Nothing spectacular, but still fun to play nonetheless.
Yeah, it's okay.